Hello everyone, Marjorie Roman here, and we are in another episode of Creating Wealth with our amazing mentor, Robert Allen.
Ta-da! I've been teaching creative real estate for my entire life. I have seen so many people use these techniques, nothing down techniques. I've had literally thousands of people throughout my entire career, because I've spoken to millions of people, really, and they've come up to me at wherever I'm speaking somewhere, and they'll go, "I bought a property with nothing down, Bob." I had a lady come up to me in Singapore. I was speaking to like 1,000 people in Singapore. She comes up to me holding a copy of my book, and it was in English because they speak English in Singapore. And she said, this book made me $1 million. And I said, "Well, wow, what was your favorite part of the book?" And she said, "Well, can I be honest? I actually never read it, but I read the title, and it seemed to me, if he says you can do it, I guess you can." So she said, I went out into the market and I started looking for new ways of finding real estate. And as you know, Singapore, the prices in Singapore are out of the stratosphere, and they usually want all cash. But she just made up her own nothing down techniques, and she said, "This book made me $1 million." I've had literally story after story, hundreds of stories like this. So if you're watching this, and Marjorie, thank you for interviewing me, but I'm just trying to say to you, there are so many thousands of people who have done this, and you're going to find people who will tell you that it doesn't work. Especially realtors will tell you, "Oh, did you learn that at a seminar somewhere? Did you read one of those crazy books?" And they'll tell you this. If they haven't bought any real estate, they have no right to talk to you about investment real estate, because most of them are retail, residential realtors. They don't know anything about investments, and they don't know exactly how to find those highly motivated sellers I'm trying to teach you how to find. So they're going to tell, your parents will tell you you're crazy. Smarter people around you, people who are investing who are employees, they'll tell you you're nuts. I'm telling you from 40 years of experience, thousands of people have become millionaires from that one lady in Singapore. And I've got thousands of others who use these techniques. They flat out work, but you got to work them. They're not easy to do. But if you are lacking any of the requirements for you as an individual to qualify for to the purchase of a property, you can use creative real estate until you don't need it. One of these days, you're going to run out of money. You might have lots of money, so you buy some properties and you don't have any money left. What are you going to do if you find another great deal? You need a nothing down technique. So you need to use the techniques I'm teaching you here, even if you're rich, but you got all your money tied up in real estate and you don't have any cash or cash flow. What are you going to do? You're not poor. You're not broke. You literally got millions in assets, but you need to use a creative technique to cobble together the techniques for you to get into your next big deal. It's all about creative real estate. And it doesn't matter what time of the cycle you're in. Eventually, you're going to need what I'm teaching you here. You're going to need it. All rich people need these techniques, and all poor people need these techniques. Everybody is watching this.
That's right.
You need to understand how to think like this. Got that?
And if anything, what I do love about your techniques is that regular mortgages from banks, they require you cash flow, collateral, and good credit, right? But with the creative real estate techniques, you have creativity, you have persistence and perseverance and patience. You can do it.
Yeah, that's what I call the 4 C's that the banker wants: cash, cash flow, collateral, credit. The 4 C's are all inside you. You are your wealth. So you need credit, credibility. You need creativity. You need commitment. And you need to be challenged. You need to be, there are a lot of C words that I could use right here, but all these words are inside you. That's where it comes from. If you're not committed, it ain't going to happen. If you're not creative, it ain't going to happen. You have to use these C words inside you to create the wealth outside you. You'll hear me teach this over and over again because it's, you see, the reason I teach is because I've learned lessons in my life. and they were very expensive to learn. I don't want you to pay those prices. This price right here is free. You don't have to pay anything for this. So I'm giving this to you so that you can learn to think in a different way. You don't learn this stuff in school. Nobody teaches you this stuff. So for free is my gift to you, so you don't have to pay the price of stupidity. I'd rather you pay the price of creativity. And that's why we do these video classes. For you, this is my gift to you. I love you. I want you to win. I won't be here forever, but these videos will be. They'll be here long after I'm gone, at least 30 years from now. But the point is, this is for you, my gift to you. So what's the next technique?
So our next technique for today is going to be the big monthly down payments.
Ooh. So we talked about technique number 5 was the balloon mortgage. Technique number 6 is short-term, little tiny balloons, much bigger than you would have normally paid on a mortgage. Little balloons. So let's suppose the mortgage payment was supposed to be $1,000 a month. Mm-hmm. You give them $2,000 a month. Well, why would you do that? Well, maybe you can afford it. Maybe you got good cash flow from your job. And, it's okay for you rather than you saving the $1,000 a month, putting in your bank account. That's stupid. Go find a seller who will be a place where you can save your money. It forces you to save that extra $1,000 a month that goes into this extra larger, higher monthly down payment. Essentially, you can't do this forever, but maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to double down on your mortgage payment. That will help you pay down your mortgage more, but it'll make the seller happier because the seller gets more cash. And like I told you in a previous conversation, any balloon that's less than a year looks like cash. Mm-hmm. If you say, I'm going to give you an extra $1,000 a month, they multiply it in their head and they go, hey, that's an extra 12 grand. If they can't give me the 12 grand now, because they're stretched a little bit, but they're making good money, yeah, okay, 12,000 in a year. Yeah, I can wait a year. That's not that big a deal.
That's right.
So it's just another way of asking for a concession. Now this time, you're giving a concession. You're doubling the monthly payment on this to the seller. It makes them, maybe it solves one of their short-term problems. They need an extra cash for a period of time, but eventually you don't want to do that forever because then it pays the mortgage off in 8 years instead of 20 or 30. You want to do this on a short-term basis until they realize you're legit. So you might set a date to it. I'm going to do this for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of 2 years, the interest rate or the monthly payment drops back down to what it normally would have been over a 30-year period of time.
So in this case, these higher payments, monthly payments, would be kind of like a way of building your trust with the seller. Because in this case, not like other techniques, we are not having an asset tied up to the mortgage that we can use for trust purposes. But in this case, these high monthly payments are like, hey, seller, I am actually a legit investor and I truly care about you. So this is what I'm doing right now.
You might, if it's the case that you do make good money, but you don't have the down payment, this is the rationale why you're offering this to them. You can show them, here are my pay stubs. I make X, Y, Z. I do fine financially. I'm just young and I've been blowing my money everywhere and I want to change that. I want to get into real estate. So, I can afford these monthly payments to you. But I at the end of 2 years, I want to use this technique again to buy another property.
That's right.
So at the end of 2 years, if I made my payments on time, the escrow company is authorized to accept a lower down payment for the remaining period of time. But this is what I call high monthly down payments. And once again, can you just see how this is just another way of stretching, of thinking about it in a creative way, but most people don't think of this stuff.
That's right. Especially, I feel like for us young professionals, like we are making pretty good money because of like our professions and careers and everything, but we just feel a little bit insecure to like come up with, I don't know, 20,000,
Yeah.
40,000, 100,000 even just to buy a house.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
no, I'm scared. I don't even want to do that. It's so much money.
You know what it really is, especially for a young person like yourself? This is a forced savings plan.
That's right.
And what I love about it being in a forced savings plan is because you have no way out. You have to make that payment.
That's true.
You know, if you're trying to save money, you don't really have to save it. If some little emergency comes up, you can divert and you can say, well, I'll miss my savings goal this month. I'll start next month. And you know how hard that is. It's almost impossible. There's a million things you could buy with that savings money. So this is a forced savings plan. And where better could you put? Because if you put the $1,000 in the bank, it's going to be 1% interest. If you put the extra $1,000 in a good piece of real estate, you could be making 100% on your extra down payment, that $1,000 a month. I'll bet you that property that you put that extra $1,000 into a month will have gone up $12,000 in that year while you owned it, while the $1,000 you put into the bank, how much would it be? Let's see, you got $12,000 you put into it. What rate of interest would you be earning at 1%? We're talking $120.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even buy that at a good dinner somewhere. And this is just stupid. Stupid. And most people do this. They say, I'll just save my way. I got to save my money. Dumb, stupid, stop it. By the time your property is available for you to buy 5 years from now, it'll have gone up 40%, and then you won't be able to qualify. You buy now with a highly motivated seller using creative, wild-ass techniques like this, excuse the language. Just wildness. Remember, not everybody will accept that deal. But it's going to cause them a pause. They're going to go, I've never thought of it that way. Yeah, I think I'd take that. That would probably work for me. And now, having given a concession, they concede back by accepting your better opportunity, right?
That's right. And then again, like for us, like young investors, I feel like it's a really cool way for us to like understand the value of money when you're truly investing it in a wiser way. Because we live in a generation that it's like all about consumers. Yeah. They are just buying things that they can see flashy out in the market.
Yeah. Blingy. The blingier it is, the better it is.
Yeah,
Dumb.
That's not going to generate any income.
Don't invest your money in anything that goes down in value. That's dumb.
And also by having it on a safer place than a bank, because I feel like an investment within a real estate property, that's way better than
they might think the real estate is a little riskier, and it very well could be. But hey, you want to be rich, you have to take those kind of risks.
That's true. And in the end, all of those risks, as long as you are analyzing those deals based on the many teachings that you have given us, we are more than happy to actually do them. And it's like the safest thing that you can do, because in the end, all of those investments are going to generate all the profits that you need that are going to be way better than just having your money sitting on a bank account or sitting on a dumb card that is not going to produce anything for you except for more expenses.
But people like to look rich. And I've said before, don't look rich. That's stupid.
Be the
millionaire. Don't look rich
next door
until you can afford to pay cash.
That's true.
Don't look rich, because if you're going into debt, you're going into debt with interest rates that are high. You sucked up your cash flow. Just don't look rich. Now, I have looked rich myself in my lifetime. So the home we bought is a magnificent mansion compared to everything you've ever seen in your life. But it was expensive. And I would say if I were to do it over again, would I put that $7 million into another home like that? Nope, I never would. I would not. But we lived there for 8 years and had a lot of fun. Got a lot of great memories.
And that is because you actually used your knowledge to find creative ways to fund your investments. And those investments ended up funding all the fun stuff that you ended up doing.
There you go.
Thank you so much again, Bob. And thank you to our audience. Go out there, use these creative and real estate techniques to fund the fun that you want to have later on in your life. We're going to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.